So it felt to me like improvisation was kind of the theme that was running through all of the work, even though, you know, with, I guess I call it prefabricated work in poetry, the improvisation sort of happens behind the scenes when you're looking at the keyboard. I was wondering if everybody could sort of talk about the relationship that you have with planning and improvisation, and whether there is any kind of planning that goes into that improvisation, or what the thinking process is for you when you're thinking about what you're going to be improvising when you're about to improvise. That applies to the musicians as well as the writers. If you please.
For our group, I think we're evolving, you know, how we approach improvising. I mean, we've taken a few different approaches since we first met, which was a year ago. And, you know, with doing some structure, some planning, and then also seeing what happens with just using our ears and conversing basically with sounds, so that, you know, we're responding to what we hear, either positively or, you know, taking it in a different direction. And I think with a group improvising, there's this process of trust that just develops as you have a compatible group of people, and you know that, you know, it's going to work out, because there's this sort of expectation of, you know, social niceness or something. You know, that somebody's not going to dominate, or maybe they will for a while, but they'll back off. So, you know, it kind of finds its own level, I think, in a group anyway.
I wanted to say that it was inspiring to have the poets here, because I haven't played with poets for a time, and answer to your question too, I think as a musician and also a writer, it's drawing on different sources to feed into whatever you're doing, whether it's poetry or music. So for me, it's kind of drawing on the rhythms of the poets, sometimes the rhythms that I heard tonight, drawing on our past musical experience. So I think it's kind of nice, we all kind of bring slightly different musical backgrounds into this group. And I think the exciting part about improvising is that you can kind of draw some of that in. For example, if you're feeling more in something in the Middle Eastern kind of flavor, or Native American, or whatever it is, African-American jazz, it's all there kind of to draw from different wells. And I think that's kind of part of the excitement. We all kind of draw from maybe a little different wells and common wells too, I think. So they're both.
Would the poets like to speak to that question?
You're the word guys.
Yeah. Think of words. For the poems that I read from a sample blog, I composed them partly from Google searches, and I would just sort of put a random phrase like mean multinational hugs and kisses or something. A lot of copy and paste, and then sort of assembling them that way, and then sort of quote-unquote cheating, adding my own, I don't know, whatever. And I'm interested in a kind of off-balance and inability at articulation, so I guess there's a kind of, with that, a constant attempt at articulation being proliferated in the work, and I guess that's how I make sense of it. And I don't know if that directly addresses improvisation, but yeah, I don't know. Do you sort of collage or with things outside sources?
Yeah, like with the first poem I read, it was with like the Google search, and I would just think of people's names, and in Google search for quotes, and then really just copy and paste something like halfway, and then just like jammed it all together. So that was probably the most improvisational, as far as, but a lot of times I think that it's also trying to, like maybe with music, like you should like still kind of thinking of words or noticing different, like the same sounds, similar, like I think I still try to structure it, or or find those similarities in words.
I think basically improvisation implies that you don't have a preconceived idea of what it's going to be like when you start it, so that you get into a process where you think, this might be going somewhere, where is it going to take me? And because that would be the feeling I get from a lot of your work. And I think that's what we get too, because we don't really know where it's going to go. But as Linda said, there's a trust involved that you think, this could work out. This seems to be going somewhere. Oh, but I'm not sure I want to go in that direction. Any one of us can modify it and change it and go in a different direction.
And maybe one of the differences too, which is that the commonalities are great. With writing, I don't know if you guys feel this way, it's the idea that maybe you're improvising and you put it down at some point in writing, capture that. And sometimes we capture that if we record something. Or sometimes, even if it's not recorded, it's still kind of captured, it's out there somewhere in the atmosphere. So it depends on how that's captured, probably whether it's in writing or in a recording. Or just for the ears without recording or writing.
It's interesting how you both use computers to introduce these kind of chance elements, Google searches or just, random quotes, but then just make decisions, to shape it into something. So it's like partially aleatoric or something at the beginning, and then you just kind of package it, you make these decisions on how you want to, what direction you want it to go in.
The poet K.S.L.M. Muhammad said something like, I could either be working with the words that I have in my brain, or I could be working with the words that I find in a Google search, and one is not superior to the other, obviously. And I don't know. I think it's really fun too to have these. There's a sort of estrangement that makes it more surprising, as opposed to. I still like to write with no found materials, but I don't know. It's about taking in words from all over the place,
Yeah, and like Carl said, we're using these, tapping into subconscious, scraps of melodies or, modes, Middle Eastern modes or something that just kind of pop in there, so it is almost like a, a little Google search in your auditory memory, that you're tapping in and then trying that and then making the choices on, whether to follow up on.
When you said estrangement, that's kind of exciting what's exciting about improvisation is that sometimes when you do something that sounds kind of different or weird or it's different or strange, and that can be a lot of fun to work with. Like, whoa, what was that all about? I just heard from Rick or Linda or Mark, and how am I going to deal with that? Maybe I'll answer it, maybe I won't, and that's what makes it exciting, I guess, for me personally. I think I found the rest of the group it seems to be the same way.
Yeah.
I think when I try to write, like if I really know I'm going to sit down and write a poem about this, it always comes out feeling forced, and it just never works. So something I actually like to do too is I take other poems and that's my structure, and then I'll just take the lines and change the words, but so it'll have the same format or length. And then just whatever comes to my head, if it's Lady Gaga, or whatever's in my head, or something on the radio, a song that I'm listening to kind of all works its way in there organically.
When you said collage, I think we do a lot of that. I think one of my earliest experiences that got me interested in jazz was that, because I think it's all collage, whether it's words or music to some extent if you're improvising. I'll never forget this first jazz song I heard. I was about 11 years old. It was Sonny Rollins. He was playing wagon wheels, and he was improvising on the old folk song Wagon Wheels. And I thought, boy, if somebody can do that with wagon wheels, I want to play that kind of music, because it was totally spontaneous. It started off like wagon wheels, went somewhere totally different, and I thought that's the kind of music I want to play. So I think collaging is important. So wagon wheels for me was the first collage I think I heard involving music that I loved.
Yeah.